Welcome to Above the Mark, where we take you from the soil to the office and everywhere in between.
We're your hosts, Jack and Troy, bringing you real conversations on farm leadership, rural life, and the big issues shaping modern agriculture.
Whether you're knee-deep in the field or just ag curious, there's something here for you.
So let's dig in and aim a little higher. Welcome back to Above the Mark podcast. Troy, it's good to see you again.
Is that true?
Maybe. Today we have some new faces with us, Jamie and Meghan.
Fresh out of the barn and into the podcast, huh?
Yeah, it's a good thing you can't smell us on this podcast.
You can't smell it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we decided to bring in some of the Heartland people, give you guys different perspective here. So we've spent some time talking about the Mercer side of things. So let's talk about the feed side of things. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We brought some different colors to the podcast today.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I think that people see the Heartland behind you on the sign, right? But we've never really talked about it. That's not because we're ashamed or anything like that. We have so much to talk about, I think, and so much to offer at Mercer that we're constantly coming up with new things to talk about. But yeah, thanks for coming. And hopefully this isn't terrible and they want to come back another time.
Yeah. So Troy, tell us, what is Heartland?
Heartland is the feed side, right? So Heartland is a joint venture between Sunrise and Mercer, right? When did that start? I don't know for sure.
Oh, we're probably going on 5 years now, isn't it?
July of 2020?
Yeah, because it was right after I had the twins. I based everything off of when I had my children. So it was right when I came back from maternity leave. So 4 going on probably 5 years.
Yeah, twins.
Yeah, and probably heavily affiliated with the southern part of our geography, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just was saying earlier that I had seen one of your guys' trucks up north, so you do go further north. I think you all the way into Michigan, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
So they're around.
Yeah.
They're around.
Yeah, our territory has definitely gotten bigger since really the whole Heartland venture. We go down south more, like South Charleston area, southern Ohio. We kind of reach those parts and all the way up north to Michigan. So, but yeah, I mean, we're so fortunate to be based in Mercer County, which is obviously a unique in itself of how heavy populated we are in livestock in general. So we're definitely heavily based there, but definitely expanding.
Yeah, well, I guess to start, why don't you tell our listeners what are we up to? 6 million people now, Alan?
No pressure.
Yeah. 6 million listeners. It's the largest podcast in Laddie, Ohio. True story, I think. I haven't fact checked that, but
I don't even think you need to.
No.
It's true.
Nah, I wouldn't be so sure. But tell us about yourself. Who you are, where you're from, background, what do you do? Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll start. So I'm Meghan Pleiman. I grew up in Fort Laramie, Shelby County area. Probably a little bit of a non-traditional background in ag. Grew up in town. But my uncles, my grandparents farmed. So I was definitely in that lifestyle, just not really living it day to day. But I started showing pigs with all my cousins at the fair, and that got me involved in 4-H and then FFA. And I was really fortunate to be able to work on a dairy farm in high school, which really kind of started my experience. They were probably the most patient family ever. I showed up in like nice boots, a North Face coat for my very first milking. And I'm really like, do you want different clothes? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I don't know why I'd get so dirty. Found it the hard way. So yes, the most patient family. I mean, they probably could have ran a bull in the parlor and I would have tried to milk it. Like I knew absolutely nothing at this point in time. So extremely blessed for that opportunity. I milked for a while. They ended up going to robots. And then I really was just on calf feeding duty after that. At the time, I absolutely loved it. It never felt like work to me, but I also never felt like I thought I could have a career in it at that point. So I ended up going to Wilmington College, majored in ag education, just because I was so passionate with FFA at the time. I kind of wanted to give back to how much FFA gave to me. I got into my education classes and I was like, yeah, this is not for me. So I switched to animal science with an ag comm. The only thing I knew that I didn't want to do was sales. Like after I made the switch, I was like, the only thing I don't want to ever do is sales. It's the one thing. No way. So yeah, funny how it all works out. Yeah. So then this opportunity came up with Mercer Landmark at the time. I'm fortunate to start right after college. as a calf and heifer specialist. So that's what I do currently. And yeah, I get to be on dairy farms pretty well every single day, and help producers really fine tune their calf programs and help them reach their goals. And I do that. And then my husband and I farm in Shelby County, and we own a cow calf operation and raise 3 honored boys.
Very busy.
Yes, it is busy, but we love it.
So for our listeners who don't know, what do you mean when you say the calf program, helping the growers with that? What does that entail?
Yeah. So really, it's really hands-on. We're on the farm. We're really getting to know your operation, what your goals are, what your challenges are, and really where you want to be with your calf program. And then we kind of tailor it from there. So we have different options on milk replacer, starter, grower. We can do, nutrition all the way up to that lactating point. So really, once they calve in, those animals go to our lactating specialist. But really, we just focus on how can we get this calf started off right from day one, growing correctly, where she's going to end up being productive in your milk herd.
So you're focusing on their health, right? The best health possible.
Yeah. So the really cool thing, which I know Jamie kind of nerds out on this too, but the correlation between health and nutrition and how that then correlates to milk production and how productive she can be and efficient she can be down the road really all starts from day one. So I think we probably both really nerd out on that, and we probably get really excited about that talking to our farmers and our producers. So really getting that across and how we can use nutrition to kind of tie in and push our production goals.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Jamie.
Okay, I'm Jamie Deuce. My career in agriculture started a bazillion years ago. I grew up in tiny town St. Henry as a townie as well. But I grew up on my friend's family farm. They had dairy cows that we milked. We had failed to finish pigs, and then I also showed horses. So I am a horse nerd. Anyways, so I grew up on a friend's farm. I always wanted to be a vet, but I am a terrible student, so I did not want to continue that.
That
So
surprised me for some reason.
I am a terrible student. I just can't focus.
So I find this interesting given what your husband does.
Yes, yes. He is a principal at an elementary school, and it's funny. He always says, "Wow, you work with animals. You're so lucky." I'm like, "I know, it's great. They never talk back to me. It's fantastic." But anyways, so grew up on my friend's farm and went to school to be a vet tech. Which is actually where I started. I started in practice, but I was only small animal, and I knew at some point I wanted to get back out in large animal. And so I didn't actually even know that the position that I have even existed. Worked in practice for a while, worked in manufacturing at Mercer. They actually make animal health equipment, so I was there, learned a bunch of cool things there, but then decided I needed to get back into the farm world. So I started here about 8 years ago, and Mark Groth actually asked if I wanted to work with pigs, and I thought, no, so pigs are not my thing. But I thought, I'll just give it a shot. So anyways, he put me in nursery, and it has been amazing, super awesome since then. So I've been doing nurseries. I do a little bit of work on the finisher side, but mostly focus a lot on animal health. As Meghan said, our nutrition is a small piece of the whole animal. So my nerdness from the vet tech side is focusing a lot with animal health work. So I do a lot of that. It's pretty challenging, but yet day to day, when you go in and know that something fixed it or the pigs are able to succeed and we can feed the world, it's pretty promising at the end. So
So so you say you focus on the nursery.
Yeah.
So like what size are these?
So the babies come in at about 12 to 13 pounds. They're about 3 weeks old. And then we take them up into the nursery to about 60 pounds. So about another 6 more weeks. And then they'll go to a finished barn most of the time. So it's kind of like Meghan said, just like on our calf side, we really only get one chance for those pigs to grow. So when we start in the nursery, we want them to really just get the best nutrition, get the best animal health to set them up for success, to get them to a packer and a piece of bacon on somebody's plate. And that's tasty.
That's how we like it.
Do you like bacon?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can be friends.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I guess, so you're two different objectives, right? So you're taking them, you're trying to get animals to where they're producing milk.
Mhm.
You're trying to get them to a packer,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But would you say that, I think when it comes to feeding animals out to go to a packer, a lot of the mindset or, around it is just feed them as hard as we can. Let's get them out. But there's a lot more to it than that, right?
Sure.
Can you touch on a little bit on how intense those programs are? I mean, on both sides, but pigs specifically, there's a lot of pigs in an area. it's not as one-on-one as what maybe a cow-calf operation is. What some of that looks like.
Yeah, so on the pig side, so a lot of guys, we have a few producers down south that actually own their own pigs. Most of them, we consider them our growers, so we rent their space to grow those animals. We're on the cattle side, all the guys own their own cattle.
Okay.
So big difference there. But all of the things that associate with it, even though we're renting that barn or using those growers paying the growers to utilize those spaces, there still are things we have to focus. So even though you have a barn, we say air, water, and feed, those things are critical to get those animals to the packer. So even though they provide us with a barn, we still have to be able to do a great nutrition program, make sure our water is available, and then also air. If our air ventilation, even though the barn's there, if that ventilation isn't right where it's supposed to, then those pigs may not grow as well. I've actually had it before. We had a barn just east of here, struggling over and over and over, just couldn't get the pigs to grow, yada, yada. So basically what we figured out was the ventilation in the barn was just kind of half. It wasn't consistent throughout the whole barn. So just by changing that ventilation, our average daily gain and feed conversion skyrocketed, and the pigs took off and grew just great. So just simple things like that, yes, the barn is there, but we still want to make sure we tweak it versus on the cattle side. Yes, the barns are there. Yes, but those guys actually own those cattle. So we're going to do some of those same things, but they may focus a little bit more than what some of our growers do just because that's our expertise from a service side.
How old age of barns? Is there a lot of new barns, old barns in between?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some new barns. It kind of slowed down here in the last couple of years just because costs in general just kind of gone up. So it's a little bit more of a challenge, but we do have some older barns. Normally they say about 10 to 15 years is when they start, but a lot of times in about 10 to 15 years, they'll start replacing feeders or waters or gates or stuff like that. So even though the barn is still there, they still always try to keep up.
Have you seen, though, a difference in rate of gain or just animal health from barns that were built early 2000s and 90s versus now?
Oh, yeah. It has a lot to do with, like, especially feeder space is a huge thing. Water cups is a huge thing.
Ventilation.
Ventilation is ginormous. It's hard in general. I'm a ventilation nerd. So for me, I love it, but it's cool to see the outcome because it's just hard. People are like, well, there's air in the barn. Sure, there's air in the barn, but is it consistent? Is it right for the pigs? So even some tweaks like that, really truly do make a difference. So.
And same with on the calf side too. We really focus on, keeping the calves dry. Do they have a draft on them? Making sure there's good ventilation. So there's really a few handful of things. We've seen old barns that they put in good drainage. They really worked on the ventilation, and they work really great. And then there's new barns where maybe there were things that were skipped and not accounted for, or we're not accounting for the correct headspace per animal. So, I mean, just because it's a new barn doesn't really mean it's going to give you the best production either. So you really want to look at the things that matters, the major stresses that calves have, and then how can we address those and kind of build a barn that best supports to get through those stressors.
And I think that's probably one of the things both on the cattle side and the pig side for us, all of us really, is we're not just focused just on selling feed or just on one thing. It's kind of how can we make our customers the most bang for their buck? How can we get the most dollars back in their pocket? And what things can we do? Even just as Meghan said, just the simpleness of some ventilation. Truly, it seems silly, but if you can really tweak and get down to the ventilation, it can actually put extra dollars. And that's kind of what we do, not just one piece of the puzzle. So
yeah, headspace is a big thing. I don't think, seems like there's a lot of, especially older barns that just get packed full. I mean,
Sure.
and that can make a huge difference. And a barn always has a way of kind of averaging itself out, it seems like, and getting the right amount of animals in there. So that's interesting.
And it's hard because, I mean, we're kind of in the day of age where everyone is trying to expand, I think. But especially on a dairy farm, you're expanding your milking herd. Well, that means more calves. So it's hard to expand your whole entire farm at one time, right? So sometimes you might have to focus on the milking herd because that's the immediate attention. For the calves, we might have to figure out how we can tweak the nutrition or tweak the other little stressors to get by until we can do the expansion that it needs. So it's really learning your farm and what the 5-year plan is and how can we best tweak our plan to help support the calves.
So I think it's great listening to both of you, right? We can hear your passion. I mean, you clearly love what you do. So think about, give me a moment or an example of something happened sometime in your career that made you say, this is why I do what I do. This is why I love what I do.
Good.
I mean, I think hearing our growers' voices when, like, I just had this actually with kitties a couple weeks ago. Just hearing their voice, like, is the absolute best. So we had some pigs that were scouring, and I said, let's just turn up the heat a couple degrees. Let's just see. In 12 hours, the pigs were completely turned around. And it was like, it's because I have been successful because of the amazing people that have helped me at 4-Star. The vets at 4-Star have helped me get to that point. And so being able to provide that information to kitties was awesome because you could just hear it in their voice. You're like, oh, they're like totally different pigs. So it's like successes like that. Like it may not seem like a big deal, but to our growers who are in the barns every single day, it's like, yes, fantastic. You know?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say definitely similar situations. I've had one recently. They've been feeding whole milk. We've just been having lots of scour issues. We've been losing calves. Weight gains haven't been where we want. And then that's all kind of leading toward respiratory and just a whole bunch of issues down the road. So we got on milk replacer. We got on a higher starter, pushed the protein a little bit more, did some manure samples, did some things on the health. So we did a whole bunch of different things to kind of get our baseline water samples, know where we're at. And we kind of made the switch all at one time. And like the 3 weeks when I had went back out there, like you said, it's like that switch and that tone and that voice. I was just like, oh, like calves are so much better. The kids fed this morning and they didn't even have any issues. They didn't have to tube any calves. Like just that tone in their voice. And they're like, oh yeah, you were, they don't have to say you're right because no one ever tells us we're right. But when you can tell, and just having, I mean, healthier calves, I mean, it's horrible to go out and feed calves that aren't drinking, or you're just constantly working with them, constantly struggling. So to be able to get a producer to the point where they feel like they have healthy calves, that's just the ultimate win.
So right now, I don't know much on the pig markets, but cattle markets are lucrative, right?
Yeah, they are, but you also have to remember we have high calf prices as well. So, I mean, all your input costs are just as expensive too. So, I mean, we're definitely in a period where I think it's nice. We're taking advantage of the breaks that we can get. But I mean, from the calf side, I will say having a higher calf price puts a little bit more, I think, attention on the calves, which is kind of nice. Sometimes when calf prices are really low, it feels like they're maybe pushed through, or we're not spending as much time or putting as much money in the most efficient part where they should be. So it is kind of nice. I like that we're trending towards having that attention focused on the calves right now.
I would agree. I think the couple guys that I work with on the calf side, they're like, gosh, I just spent $1,000 on these things. We got to do X, Y, Z. I'm like, all right. But
Yeah,
when they
let's
were
do it.
$100, they're like, yeah, it's fine. We'll see what they are in 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't rude. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hear that a lot is like on the cattle side. Well, cattle guys are doing well, but that's good to bring up the input cost of that too. I mean, it's not as easy just to get into it as what you might think, right? Yeah.
If we have growers who are looking to expand, or diversify, I mean, are you guys looking for growers? Is this something Heartland is expanding in?
Yeah, so from the cattle side, the really cool thing about our program with Heartland is how specialized we are. So we have a group of 9 or 10 people probably, and some of them are focused mainly just on like the cattle feedlot side, the bull calf raising. I'm more on the calf and heifer side that focuses on the dairy. We have some show feed, and then we have our lactating nutritionist as well. So we're really super specialized in what our focuses are. But yeah, that's kind of what makes it cool though too, because we all talk to each other, and we're always looking to expand on the cattle and the feedlot side. So yeah, growers and raisers, I mean, we're always open to have that conversation. And if you reach out to one of us and that might not really be our area, we know exactly who to refer you to talk about that.
Yep, and same on the pig side too. So we're always growing. You know, as guys start to retire or barns start to get a little bit older, they're just not ready to remodel, or they're just on remodeling. So there's always an opportunity for especially on the swine side, to grow for inquins.
How many pigs is Mercer or Heartland involved with?
I don't know the exact number, but I believe it's like 480,000 a year, something like that.
A lot of bacon.
It is a lot of bacon. Don't forget, you always like bacon.
I do.
You can thank Jamie the next time you're enjoying your bacon.
Every time we have bacon, I'm going to send Jamie a picture of us eating bacon. Yeah. So one thing that we've talked about before on this podcast is the Agro Expo. You both are involved with that. Some of you show up on time, some of you don't. Jamie?
Did you have something else?
Yeah, I was going to bring up.
Is there a point to this?
Yeah, there's no point. But it's neat to have you guys part of it, and I appreciate it. We try to tailor the program to row crop guys, pig feeders, cattle feeders, guys that are milking cows. No matter what they're involved with, we want to have something for them. And I think we've done really good at that. Last year specifically, we had a really good outcome on that, even getting into show feed stuff. And I think we'll talk about that on here at some point. But this year we're doing something a little bit different, right?
We are. We're trying something different this year.
Okay.
So in the past, we've always tried to do one day with the various amount of topics, agronomy, and we really tried to tie in some of those feed topics as well. But we get it. It's hard. A lot of our feed community is a little bit further south. And we want to try to get those topics, but we're going to try to bring it to them this year. Because it's hard to commit a full day when you got farm tours and everything else waiting for you at home. So we're going to kind of bring the expo to our feed customers this year. And on Thursday night, we're going to have a separate meeting, dinner, and it would be like the topics that we would normally do. We're now going to do on Thursday with a good dinner for our producers and stuff like that. So it'll be the evening. So the idea is it'll be a bit later, maybe after chores are done. Guys can come out, have a couple of drinks, have dinner, and then we'll talk. This year, we're going to do a little bit on like carcass education. We'll do some updates on what the cattle markets are, and really just trying to bring that education that's a little bit easier and accessible for our producers.
What are the dates of the expo? Do you know, Allie?
The 11th and 12th,
11th
I
and
believe.
12th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And where'd you say that's at?
September.
That's going to be at the marketplace. Is that the name of the building? At the
The fairgrounds.
Market Hall.
Where'd you go?
Market Hall at the fairgrounds in Salina.
Fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. And that's specifically is that for all livestock or one species or the other?
So it's going to be really cattle specific. We kind of recognize the season that we're in. A lot of times it's chopping season. It's hard for our dairy producers to take that break and get away from the farm. But we do want to encourage anybody kind of in the livestock realm. We're going to have a lot of our team there. So even if you're on the dairy side, you're able to make it. It's going to be carcass education. It's going to be market update, grain update as well. So we'll have something for a little bit of everybody, and we'll have our team there. You can talk with them, make a connection. Maybe you're new and just thinking about getting into the cattle business. You can kind of come and meet us and see what Heartland has to offer.
Talk a little bit about biosecurity has been a big thing, specifically around birds lately. But from your guys' side, I'm sure that's still something that is very important, especially as you're going from operation to operation. What does that look like from your day to day?
So I am not a bird nerd, so I won't touch anything on the bird. But on the pig side, there's a virus that's been going around pretty heavily, kind of in our area and a little bit to the west. It has hit a few of our barns. Some of the other barns that I service that has hit pretty hard. From a mortality standpoint, it's hit really high. So we do a lot of just on our own biosecurity, but also the equipment. So all of our feed trucks, all of our service trucks, everything gets sprayed down, washed, clothes gets washed. When you go through barns, you're typically going from youngest to oldest or healthiest to sickest, meaning sick. If you're in a sick barn, we typically try to wait at least 12 to 24 hours before you go into another barn. Or we try to get the healthy pigs done at the early in the week. So that way the sick pigs at the end of the week, we can then go through the weekend and everything sits. It can be a little bit of a struggle. So I typically just try to follow more on the vet side, because if animals are sick, guess what they're doing? They're calling you, so you have to go. So I just try to follow as much as we can, just washing the trucks, everybody wears booties. Everybody wears a couple of different pairs. Everything gets washed, sprayed down. There's a couple different sprays that we use. So just trying to keep it out of the barns as much as we can. So it doesn't completely stop it, but it can definitely help for sure. So,
and the nice thing too about how we're set up as Heartland is all of our mills and our feed locations are also very separated. So one location is just swine, one is just cattle, one is just poultry. So we're really not having that crossover on trucks between the different species and our different mills. So that makes a difference too. And Yeah, I think a big part of what we do is teach our producers on, how we can sanitize and the best protocols that we can implement to help to reduce scours between calves or respiratory instances. And yeah, that's a lot of our job is kind of focusing on how we can reduce exposure.
So I guess the question I have is, from the Heartland side, if you were talking to somebody that doesn't know much about Heartland, maybe doesn't know anything at all, what's your elevator pitch, or what's your a couple of things that you want to make sure that everybody knows about Heartland Feed?
I think one of the biggest things, at least on my side, I think is just we're here to help you. We want you to be our customer. If you're not a customer, then we don't have a job. So we want you guys to be successful. So we're here to help you. And if I don't know the answer, I will find somebody that will get you that answer. So we don't want to just work as like, we're going to sell you feed and we're going to leave and never see you again. We want to work with you individually to help you be as successful as you possibly can. Because if you're not successful, we're not successful. So there's a bazillion people that we work with in all parts of the industry. So if we don't know the answer, we'll find somebody that will help you. So
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think that kind of goes back to in college, I knew I didn't want to do sales. And I think I'm able to do this job because it doesn't feel like sales to me, because our intention is never to go on your farm and sell you something and leave and never come back. We really want to get to know your program, your calves, your goals, who the people are that are feeding the calves. Like, we really want to get to know you, your operation. And we're truly here to see you succeed. I mean, your issues really become our problems, and we take that to heart. And that's something that, we're not going to stop trying to figure it out until we can get it figured out. So,
but I think even on the pig side, even though we own the pigs, we're still, if they're calling and saying having issues, like we're trying to figure out, we're going in to try to figure out what's going on. So if you call, somebody will answer. So,
Yeah.
well, except
unless it's me.
that's just always calling me, and then I leave him like on unread or read for a week or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we've had time today to jingle and mingle.
mingle and jingle.
Mingle and jingle.
At least get it right.
We did a little bit more mingling than jingling, I think. Not exactly sure what jingle means yet, but I'm learning, Jackie. I'm learning.
You just keep stepping right into it. You just walk right into it. It's easy. It's easy for us to harass you.
Yeah, we need to have some different podcasts, because this is like the third one we've had where it's 3 females versus me.
It's just how we like it.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a lot.
It's like,
But it's all right. Yeah.
It's all right.
it's all right.
Zero sympathy coming from this side of the
Yeah.
table.
It's okay.
Okay, so I do have a question, because both of you ladies sitting here are very passionate. I mean, again, I've already said it, but we could hear it, right? When you're talking, we know you love what you do. Both of you are working moms, right? You're raising your families. Obviously, your guys' kids' ages are a little bit different, but I mean, thinking about ag industry as a whole, making that change, right? And once upon a time, this was a male-dominated industry. I mean, what would you ladies say to those young girls out there who are growing up on a farm,
Or not.
or not growing up on a farm, right? As you called yourself a townie, but they have an interest in farm life. What would you say to them?
I would say it's always possible. And I think for myself, there's that thing called imposter syndrome where you kind of always start to doubt yourself. So I would say, looking back, I've never felt like being a woman in this industry has ever held me back. If anything, I think it's yourself that can be the biggest struggle. So I would say to them, get out of your own head. And, if you really have a dream and you're set on it, then find the right people and get the right people in your corner, and they'll help you get there. And if you want to do it and you're set to it, nothing can hold you back.
Yep, I would agree. And it's like you said, you're not by yourself, it's a team. So the cool thing about, at least I feel like for us, a big piece of it is networking. So you meet so many people. And when I said before, if we don't know the answer, we'll find someone. It's so cool to, like, if you think, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated because I don't know the answer, or is it because of this, or I'm a female, or whatever. No, there's bazillions of people that can help. And I feel like we're all just a big, ginormous team that wants to help everyone. So if you have any inkling to do it, go out and do it, because I feel like it's a good thing to be together, to have a team like that. Then I also feel like too, somebody told me this once when I started working in nursery, as a woman, just in general, nothing against men, but our natural instinct is just caring and seeing. And so sometimes we have that little extra oomph to like, if calves are sick, it's just like our babies at home when our kids are sick, mom's normally the first one. Nothing wrong with men. It's fantastic. They do a fantastic job, but it's just a little instinct. And somebody said that. I'm like, I mean, I guess it is a good point. I mean, we have amazing growers that I work with, almost all male growers, and they're amazing, but don't set yourself short. So yeah.
Instinct is a real thing. Last night, my wife had to leave and she had supper in the oven. Everything was ready to go. And we have a 1-year-old at home. And before she left, I'm like asking, like, okay, so I take it out of the oven. Like, I know how to make food, but like what's the plan here? She's like, well, just cut it up so that she can eat it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So how big do I need to cut it up? And she's like, big and small enough that she doesn't choke on it. And I'm like, oh, okay. How big is choking? I don't know. So
Do you have to get your roller out? And
I cut it so small that it was like she had rice on her plate and chicken, and the chicken I think was smaller than the rice. So there is, I respect that, and I understand that, and I think that's cool. And you talk to different, we were talking about the farm show earlier, and I was talking to someone there that has a dairy, and the wife was very involved with it, especially on the calf side of things. And I think that rings true, and it's cool to see. So yeah. Well, we're going to clip a video at the end of this of Jamie riding a bull at the Agro Expo. I have that on my phone.
Yeah.
And that'll be at the end of this podcast. Is that okay?
No, that's fine.
If there was ever a viral moment, that would be it.
Yeah.
So
We would
have to.
We would post my video, but it's not long enough. I fell off.
We don't need any more. No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Good.
Well, thank you guys for coming on,
Thanks.
and hopefully you come back sometime. And yeah. What do you think, Jackie?
I think it's great. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks for having
you.
us. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Above the Mark.
Be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify along with YouTube, and we'll see you next time.